Good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank you to the beginning of our 2024 coffee chat series. We're very excited to have my good friend Nathalie Schmidt with us this morning. I'm sure most of you know her, but Nathalie is from LaSalle County. She is a Illinois farm wife. She's the mother of two, grandmother of a few, and an Illinois Agri-Women Member. She is partnered with her husband Joe, and they're serving in Uganda. They operate his fourth generation family farm and has been followed the calling to teach Ugandan farmers better agronomic practices. Their project, Tough, which is transforming Ugandan farmers, is making a difference in helping farmers provide enough food and education for their families, the two most desired needs in rural Uganda people. So she's going to give us a little update on their program. I'll turn it over to Nathalie.
Thank you. And it's great to be able to share with you this morning. I think this is my first Zoom PowerPoint presentation. So I'm really excited about this and sharing with friends and anyone else who would be out there that gets to listen to this. So thank you for the opportunity. I've got my cup of coffee. I hope you all have something that you enjoy first thing in the morning. And what I intend to do is give you just a brief introduction to how we got to the point that we are today, which includes a brief history of getting connected with Uganda, giving you an update about where the farm project is at this point. I have some planting videos to share with you. I'll explain about those when we get to it. I have a couple testimonials that are from some amazing Ugandan agro-women farmers, and then would be happy to take questions that you might have about anything that I may have skipped over or that you might have curiosity about. So once again, thank you for the opportunity, and I will go ahead and screen share. Oh, so Jill, host disabled participant screen sharing. So I don't know if that needs to come from you or potentially from Gail. I will.
Seconds.
Okay.
Okay, I hit a different button that says multiple participants can share. So see if
I'll try again. There we go. Okay. Easily solved. And let me see if I can get, no, that is not one. Bear with me for a moment. Share. I need to hit the right thing. Still not the right thing. I will. I think this is right now. You see my white screen with our logo, everybody? Okay, perfect.
yes.
Thank you for your patience. About 10 years ago, our family got connected with a couple of gals here in our town of Ottawa who had started doing Christian-based mission trips to Uganda. Their connection there, Milton Tusingwire, and his NGO, non-government organization, or in our case, like a charitable organization, a nonprofit, they became connected at that time and established a long-standing friendship that stands to this day. In this picture here, in the blue shirt, this is Milton, and his nonprofit, Innovations for Transformation Initiative, serves the poorest of the poor in Uganda. And this past summer when we were there, we visited his hometown, and this little red building This is what a typical downtown might look like in Uganda in a trading center. That door on the left of the red building, that is where he lived and grew up for a portion of time. And it was just a really sweet moment to catch a picture of him standing in front of his childhood home. He was a child who was the poorest of the poor, and through his personal development, the ability to get himself educated, he now has his own nonprofit and is now serving the poorest of the poor. He does an amazing job at it. All of the trips that are done by our friends who go over there, all of the mission projects that are done through his NGO, ITI. He is the executive director and CEO. He is a good friend of ours. We work directly with him. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew who kind of is the leader there in Uganda, our friend Milton. So in 2012 and 2013, first our daughter went, and then she and I went in 2013 to just be on this, our friend's Christian mission trip. We then entered a time for our family where our kids were graduating high school, going off to university, those kinds of things, family transitions, joys and sorrows, those kinds of things. And then in 2019, Joe decided that he wanted for us to go together over there. We traveled with a group of 14, and where Joe found himself as we were traveling the rural western part of Uganda is, why is their corn crop not doing so well? Why is maize not growing well? It's a main food staple for them. Many farmers were struggling to be able to have a healthy crop of maize. So that entered his heart and his mind, and he decided at that point that he wanted to do something about helping farmers in Uganda. That was the summer of 2019. We planned a return trip for February of 2020. And at that time, we were going there to inquire and investigate what could be done. And what we found ourselves doing was interviewing to hire an agronomist. And our friend Peter Baguma here is our agronomist on the ground. He is a employee partner in ITI, and we support him with his salary to do the agronomy work, the training and education. And so we, at that time in the winter, February of 2020, we interviewed 13 people for this agronomist position. And we've never interviewed people before, but we had, as we keep reflecting back, we know that God is leading this with us, and we know that he had a big plan at that point. It took us off guard, overwhelming. The morning that we were doing these interviews, it was just a step of faith that we are thankful for. We interviewed them, we hired Peter, and he is an amazing, college educated agronomist. One of his first main jobs was to work on the tea plantations. Tea is grown in Uganda. So that was one of his first agronomy jobs. He is 32 years old, and he is our agronomist over there. He does the teaching and the training of the farmers. We hired him. He started to develop a plan on how to go about doing that well for the farmers when he was hired by us. On that visit in February of 2020, in the part of us investigating what could be done, how we could help, we literally met with 4 farmer groups and just asked them what their successes and what their challenges were and what they needed, what they wanted. The most overwhelming thing that they told us that they wanted was education. They wanted to learn how to farm better. So this was a perfect fit that an agronomist step in and help. So at that point, we began supporting Peter's salary plus everything that's required to train and educate the farmers. We started off with 2 groups of 30. These groups are oriented to being a community group already. They save and loan money together. They have their own mini microfinance bank within their group. They are accountable with one another and they support one another within their group. That was an important piece of involving Peter to come in and help them, because they just needed to be able to work together, train together, learn how to farm better together, and be a support to one another. So having that, it's called a Village Savings and Loan Group, is an important piece of how Peter then comes in and helps them with their farming training and aspects, because 70% of the population in Uganda farms. So it's in the rural areas, farming is pretty much what everybody does. To this point, we have 240 participants in the program. We have 8 groups of 30. We feel that that impacts close to 1,000 people, so the farmers plus their families. And as the intro stated, the whole point of helping them to become better farmers is so that they have more of a resource to provide food for their family, but then to sell the excess so that they can have the extra resources that they need. And Peter, as I stated, developed the program and runs it. He is hands-on working, like you can see in the picture down here in the right-hand corner. This we took in August this past year, is working hand in hand alongside the farmers to be with them and train them. At first, what we did with those groups is we rented an acre plot in their community. He went to them to train them on that piece of property within their group. So at one time, maybe he was actively visiting 4 different groups, maybe at 1.6 of them, just visiting individual farmers, working through any issues that they were having, just helping them all to become better, even on the demonstration plot, which is what we called it, and in their own home gardens. So come around to June, after February of 2020, get the program off the ground there that summer. Because of COVID, finally were able to make a return trip in June of 2022, and we saw much success. At that point, we were mostly supporting this program ourselves. With the fact that we couldn't return over there and see what was happening, we just felt that we couldn't necessarily ask and present the program until we knew that it was successful. We had a few individual supporters that sent us with resources for 2022. But since we've been able to go over and establish that this is actually helping farmers, we have opened up and have become a 501c3 charity through our local community foundation, and have had amazing support from friends and interested parties in encouraging and supporting us. And we are very thankful for that. We can see the difference that this is making, and we are so appreciative that others can see that as well. There are the signs that Peter and Milton have told us of what they see as success, and that is better clothing. More of them have cell phones that they're able to buy minutes and use to communicate with one another. Their kids are staying in school. They're being well fed. There's symptoms of success that we get to see and that they have confirmed. And so we just know that this is in many ways, small and large, helpful to these people. So last March, a central demonstration farm was acquired. This is new. what our hope is to have a central place where farmers come to be trained. So that was acquired late in March last year. We traveled back this past August to plant that farm side by side with the farmer groups. And then just a little bit into the future here, we leave January 21st to go and harvest that first planted crop on the central demonstration farm. So we're very excited about that. But what I will show you now are some videos of some planting methods. So the first one, I will play the video. This is called the scatter method, and this woman is holding a basket of seed. She literally is just walking through the field that has been worked up and is scattering seed. And soon here in the video, you will see the other farmers. Basically, they're just coming along and covering up that seed in this very rustic method. And this is what they call scatter planting. So we were able to, and on this central demonstration farm, we have several plots that are different methods. And when we go back to harvest, we will be able to measure up, okay, how successful was this method as compared to another method. Little trial out there in Uganda. So that is the scatter planting method. This next one is called chop and plant. Pay attention especially to the feet placement that you see. This is how far apart they are planting their seeds. So they literally use their what do they call that? Like your stride for one planting hole to the next, chop and plant. So they're digging the holes in this video snippet. And in the next one, let's see. This is them going ahead and putting the seed in the hole. They're actually putting like 2 or 3 seeds in each hole. And again, others are coming along with a hoe to cover up the seed. And this again is called chop and plant. And it's about a strong 2 feet apart each hole. This is planted next to the plot with the scattering method. The next that we will show you is after we have done our training with the farmers, we asked them to plant an American method, the method that we would like to see them do side by side, where it's a row. So let's see. Here we go. So here we have had them dig a trench that's 4 inches deep. They lay, the man up front here with this little cap is spreading DAP fertilizer. People coming behind are covering that up with a couple inches of soil, and then the next person is putting a seed in every 15 inches and doing in rows. And again, we're going to be able to compare yields side by side when we go back. We wanted them to do this to compare to their methods. Things that they have noted during the growing season is their ability to not have to weed as much. They've planted here on the demo garden, but they also went to their own home gardens and planted. And weeding is a big issue, keeping weeds away from the plants so that they can grow as healthy as possible. They are noting that they are doing less weeding because there is shading over of the corn plants. So whether or not the soil runs out of nutrients is another issue altogether, or if there is disease pressure, we will figure all that out when we go. But what we hope is for them to see, okay, the scatter method, the chop and plant method, the row method, what can work well for them. Okay, those are the planting videos. The next picture I want to show you is this gentleman was touched my heart when I met him. He is with one of the original groups that we started training and educating. His hat says Chicago. Obviously, that drew me in. But when we were planting in the row method with him side by side in their community demo garden back in August, he said to me, "You have tractors to do all this work. This just takes too much time." And we said, you know what, let's just do this side by side. Let's do your chop and plant method. Let's do the row method. Let's do them side by side in your community demo garden, and let's just see what happens. And so this is going to be another opportunity for us to go back and harvest two methods side by side. And what I discovered as I thought about that and we were there planting with them, they think that it is good to do their chop and plant method over a large area and even want more acres to be able to plant in that way. But how I see it is how hard they work at working the ground by hand. And if row method could benefit them, they could still produce. The hope is that they would be able to produce enough and not have to cover so much acreage. These people work so hard at what they do. So being able to see them be more efficient on less ground, I would hope would be a blessing to them. So we have a lot to go back and discover here in just a couple weeks with them. Very excited about that. I'm going to share a couple testimonials with you now. This gal, Jennifer, she was in the row planting video. She, in this picture down here, lower left, she was with a group where we presented them with improved seed for them to plant on their own gardens. We had a chance to interview her, and I just wanted to share a few of the words that she shared with us the day that we interviewed her. Again, her name's Jennifer. She is married. She and her husband we'll be visiting her farm. Seems to have a varied farm operation. I think he has work off the home farm, away from home. Very dynamic woman. Was really a pleasure to meet her. And she was a very hard worker out in the field. We worked side by side with her. Again, married, they have 5 kids, 4 boys and a girl. She was happy that their group was chosen to be able to receive the training and education. Really happy that someone was coming to share with them and teach them how to plant, hopefully in better, more modern ways. They did not used to use fertilizer, so implementing the DAP fertilizer was completely new to her. And she learned the method of digging the trench a little deeper, putting the fertilizer in, covering with some soil, and then planting. She shared how grateful she was to learn about that. You can see her here taking notes. So we were happy to see her writing down some of the things that she was learning. She definitely is expecting a better harvest, more multiplied amount of maize that they will have. They were grateful and want us to keep coming back. And she was thrilled that we came to share with them. Another thing that she noted when we interviewed her was that married couples there don't necessarily work side by side. So it was a unique thing for her to see and others to see Joe and I working side by side on this common project and in our own work that we do here on our family farm. It was kind of a new concept to them to be able to see that. And that was encouraging. She shared that because she was encouraged about that concept. So again, this is Jennifer. We had a sponsorship that then sponsored Evelyn. And we actually have a letter that was sent to us December 6th, and I'm just going to read it to you from her. Our Peter, the agronomist, went out, checked on her, took this picture in the top right, this rectangular picture of her in front of her maize crop. And these are the words that she shared and sent back to us to share with the sponsor for her. We met Evelyn in August. My name is Evelyn, my husband Moses. They have a child, and she is a maize farmer from her Kaya Kanmira village that has been transformed by the invaluable knowledge and support provided by our friends in the Tough Project through ITI Uganda. I'm writing this testimonial to share my incredible journey, which I have started, and express my deepest gratitude for the life-changing experience. The training I received for one growing season has truly revolutionized my approach to maize farming. The project's demonstration garden became my haven of inspiration and source of practical wisdom. Success stories emerge as I eagerly embrace the new methods and techniques taught during the practical training sessions. Witnessing the positive impact on crop performance in the garden is nothing short of miraculous. One of the major successes I have encountered is having good health-looking maize garden for the season. Using the improved seeds, proper application of fertilizer, precision planting were all game changers. The knowledge gained from training not only improved the quality of my crops, but will enhance the overall sustainability of my farming practices. I expect my crop yields to double for this season come January of 2024. However, no success story is without challenges. Implementing new methods in my own garden required determination and patience. Adapting to change, especially when it came to farming traditions deeply rooted in our community, was a hurdle to overcome. Yet, with the support of fellow farmers who underwent the same training in our group, we formed a close-knit community that encouraged and motivated each other to persevere. The key to my success was the meticulous integration of what I learned from the demonstration garden into my own practices. Proper spacing of seeds in the hole, using improved seeds, and fertilizer will always be my farming routine practices moving forward, though at a cost. These adjustments not only resulted in healthier maize crop, but contributed to improved yields, and our household income will ultimately improve. Looking forward, my expectations are filled with hope and optimism. I anticipate growth in maize yields and improved financial stability for my family. Moreover, I am eager to share my newfound knowledge with fellow farmers, creating a ripple effect that will uplift the entire village. In conclusion, she expresses her deepest appreciation for our friends who sponsor the Tough Project, our partner, and whose sponsorship made this training possible. Your support not only changes the life of my family, but will also empower the entire community. The maize fields are flourishing and the future looks brighter than ever. With gratitude, Evelyn, a proud maize farmer. So we met her again in August. She went right home after her training and implemented what she was learning. So we are very happy for her and proud of her. Next slide. I wanted to then just take a break and show you some of jaw-dropping things we witnessed. So this little one came on her mama's back, sat in the middle of the field under an umbrella while she worked that day that we were working with her group. And then here, when we were at on the right with these children, so this little guy is like 3 years old, maybe 4 years old, and one of their 2 to 3 trips a day going to get water. That's what this group of children is doing. Everybody working hard. Everybody works hard in Uganda. So when this mama came out to the field with the baby and set her down off to the side, but still in the field on a scarf with an umbrella, just really took my breath away for a moment. And so I thought that it might be fun to share that with you. And then I want to share a vision of some beautiful Ugandan women farmers. Had a lot of fun working side by side with them, but then they allowed us to be able to take pictures of them. And these visuals are inspiring to me, seeing these women. So with that, I sure would. I can go back to any of these slides if you have questions, but I'm ready to take questions, and I just have a little bit of contact information there on the side.
So Natalie, right now you have one trial plot. Do you see yourself expanding your program to other areas, or what are you I'm just kind of curious.
Yes, so of course our vision of what we would like to do is bigger at this point than I think what resources we have at this point. So taking on this central demonstration farm is a big project to take on. Our hope at this point is to stay there, and limit, like, make it so that Peter is mostly coming to that farm to do training and education work. But that means getting farmers to that. So if they can't walk there, we have to help provide transportation. Our hope eventually is to get a Rotary International grant, but at that point, you have to have land and you have to have a building. Rotary helps fund equipment and other resources to outfit a property to have a program like this running. So in the near future, trying to navigate resources with developing the central demonstration farm is our goal. But we also want to be available. This all started with a leap of faith and trust in God. And so we just know that we need to follow what that, what those leadings are too, and making sure that we are doing what is necessary and what is needed. Rather than what maybe our minds think. Coming from a huge farm here in America, we'd love to see them have their buildings, their equipment, the maize mill to grind that corn down into the flour that they need it to be used. All in good time, all in good time. So for right now, the focus is on educating farmers at that central demonstration farm. And then we'll just see what the future holds for multiple locations, if you will. We are traveling, our group that we're taking here in a couple weeks. We were a group of 8. 3 people had to back out because of a medical emergency necessity. One of the people involved with going is having to stay back for medical reason, and that kept it so that 2 of those people are staying to be support for her. But we have a total of 5 of us going. So we're taking 3 people with us, in them to the fields of Uganda and Mission. They're going to help us harvest and interact with the people of Uganda for the very first time. So we're very excited about that. The packing has begun. So we are working on acquiring all the things that we want to take with us in our extra luggage. And actually, we're going to be providing a hamburger picnic out in the field. We will eat a traditional meal with them also out in the field. So those are a couple exciting things that'll be components to our trip coming up here in a couple weeks. We
Natalie,
yes.
I am driving, so I'm not able to, get into the chat box or whatever. But wonder if you would share the foundation information.
Yes.
It's my understanding if we do something directly from an IRA, then that is not a taxable draw. And the last we kind of picked up on that it's got to be mailed directly to the foundation, that we as IRA participants cannot pick our checks up and deliver them to the people or the entities that we want to support. So some way we've got to figure out how to make that, if we have it posted on the IAW website or whatever, but we want to make sure that that's available to everyone within the organization.
Sure. I will stop my screen share right here, and I will get the link for the foundation. I'm going to put it in the chat box. Let's see. Oops. And
then I think we need to make sure that we're notifying them specifically what we're supporting. Am I correct?
Yes. Let's see here. Donate. I'm going to do the donate box as well. I wonder, I could probably screen share again here, but I will get the information so it can be shared at a later date as well. I will do screen share again real quick. See if, let's see. I wonder what you're seeing. I apologize. I'm not necessarily good at this. Share screen.
You had it there for a second, was the cover of the website.
So you see it fully here? Okay.
Yes,
right.
County.
So yeah, this is our local
Foundation.
community foundation. And over here under donate, this is the most complicated part of it, I feel, is knowing that you need to, I don't know why it's not, oh, it's because it's there. This is easily used if you're wanting to make a cash donation and know that it is a 501c3 charitable organization. You would fill this out and you have to scroll down to Transforming Ugandan Farmers. This is our but otherwise, with what you're speaking about specifically, Penny, I am aware of what you were sharing. And I think contacting them directly, which might require a phone call to start that process. Shirley, I know that you were saying that you contacted them for the EIN number for doing like an IRA type contribution. I have not gone through that process, but this is who you contact, is Starved Rock Country Community Foundation. And that is how to make multiple types of charitable contributions that support TUF. And when you do that as a cash donation, you do have to go to that drop down box and find TUF, Transforming Ugandan Farmers, to direct it for this program and project. And again,
so if,
IRA thing. Yep.
So if we need the EIN and need, I guess what I'm saying to you is we don't need to be creating multiple phone calls to the foundation.
Okay.
We need to make this information available to the members on the website so that it can be done quickly and easily.
Yes, and I wonder if just getting that W-9 information, or actually a W-9, if that's what would give you address and the EIN and make it easy. I'll find out if they're comfortable with having that published, or if they just want me to share the number in a small format. I will figure that out. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
And I guess I was assuming that with the EIN number and then just the address for a Starved Rock Country Community Foundation would be what they would need, but the W-9 might be a real good idea to have exactly what they want.
Right, right. You can also, we can do the legwork as well if it is any kind of a cash donation. I'm just putting out there that we have had people send us checks made out to Starved Rock Country Community Foundation with like tough in the memo line. And then we take that to them, and then that way we know and can thank you properly as well for a contribution. So there's multiple ways, but yes, I can understand with the IRA thing, hands off and let the system do its work when it comes to the distribution. So I will help get that information, and we'll figure out how to post it in the best way. Thank you again.
Do we have any other questions for Nathalie?
Good luck and safe travels.
Thank you. We are actually navigating a little bit of a rebel situation. We're keeping in close contact with Milton, with some border invasion of the Democratic Republic of Congo rebels. There's some political strife right now. And unfortunately, our farm is in the general region of where this activity is. As of right now, nothing has been canceled. The country of Uganda is not canceling tourism. That was a main question I had. There's no evidence of that at this point, and we think that there have been some positive movements in trying to reclaim safety for the area. But it's all happened since kind of September. There has been some issues with this. We don't understand it fully, but our Uganda team has kept informed and knows the safety. So we're hoping that the trip goes through, and we're trying to be flexible, obviously, if anything were to happen that we shouldn't go. But as of now, we are good to go. And I just want to say thank you to everybody. You can reach out to me if anybody has any questions. I thank you for your time today, sharing and listening.
Thank you, Nathalie. We'll be so excited to see the results of your demo plot, really. You know, it's just a great project, and you know, it seems so simple, you know, what the difference, and yet it makes such a, you know, hopefully it'll make a huge difference on how much corn that they grow. You know, just seeing some of the pictures being involved in your project for along the way now to see how many things that we take for granted, I guess, do you know what I mean, that are like really, you know, transformative for them. So, you know,
Yes.
it's really great work that you guys are doing, and really excited to see what this demo plot shows them and shows you. So
We're excited for that too. And, you know, a guiding principle for us all along has been, what small steps can we help them take to be just a little bit better? You know, not bombard them, but help them with just the next smallest step that brings them more success. So a huge guiding principle for us.
well, thank you for your time this morning and sharing, and we'll look forward to, you know, maybe we'll have to have you back to do an update, Nathalie.
Would be great. Thank you
Okay.
for your time today, everybody, and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.